Hi, welcome to Business Influencers. My name is Chris Salem, your host. You found us here at the TALRadio.org radio station. You can also find us on Spotify, Apple, and our YouTube channel as well. We want to thank you, the listeners, each and every week joining us here at Business Influencers. It's because of you our show continues to grow, and we will continue to bring in subject matter experts with content that resonates with you to take your level of influence in business to the next level. Today's show is being brought to you today by Alumni Direct. Alumni Direct is a new social media community platform dedicated to bringing alumni together from all different generational types, an opportunity to meet new people and rekindle old relationships. And it's a membership program, meaning that it takes all the noise out of social media. So you get to come in on your time and share in a genuine, authentic way and develop relationships and put together groups that can help do the things that you enjoy doing to take to the next level. If you'd like more information about Alumni Direct, check them out at alumnidirect.com. That's alumnidirect.com. Well, we got a great show for you today. We're going to be talking about how to align your success from the inside out. And we're going to be with subject matter expert Elona Lopari, is known as the Business Catalyst. She helps elite business owners and organizations become game changers in their field and achieve $1 million plus breakthroughs in their business. She partners with small business owners and corporations to help them create and execute a plan that increases profits, reduces stress, and achieves their desired results. She has over 20 plus years of operational management experience in retail and service-based industries. She is also the best-selling author of numerous books and speaks on global stages where she passionately shares her message with the masses as a keynote speaker. She has been featured in multiple well-known publications such as Disrupt, New York Weekly, Business Insider, CEO Weekly, The Business News, Famous Times, and more. As a former Fortune 500 executive who built and led record-breaking teams in over 20 locations around the U.S., her programs and consulting programs encompass billion-dollar corporate strategies combined with the speed and agility of the most powerful online marketing strategies of today. She is the CEO of the Life School, where they help visionary leaders grow legacy purpose-driven businesses through her inner alignment, branding, marketing, sales, and team so that they can maximize their impact and income to do more good in the world. Well, I can keep going on and on and on. You're going to learn more about her books, where to get your hands on them, and how you can contact Elona here after the show. And without further ado, we welcome Elona to the show. Elona, how you doing today?
Thank you so much, Christopher. I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Oh, doing great. We are so happy to have you here, and I'm really looking forward to hearing, including all of us here listening here at TALRadio with Business Influencers. You know, when we look at success, you know, I've learned through my career and just life in general that it's not a destination, it's a process. And then when we embrace that process, the results that we seek in time are manifested from that process that we engage in. Why is it so important, from your experience as a business catalyst and all your experience in corporate and then also in the entrepreneurial world, why success starts from the inside out?
Well, I will start with my personal story. Natively Albanian and I've been based out of New York for that many years, climbed the corporate ladder, built the American dream. I had the house, the 2.5 kids, the dog, the white picket fence, all the things that society said that, you know, I should work towards and it should make me happy. However, I felt a big conflict around all those things that I had built. On the outside, I looked very put together. However, on the inside, I was very, very unhappy. So just to start with that, from my personal experience and also the people that I've helped thus far, when we define success from other people's definitions, from our cultures, the people we hang out with, we're just taking that definition of success that maybe it's not even aligned with our personal values or what we want out of our lives or our natural gifts or abilities, right? So taking a look at those internally and getting that clarity with yourself or for yourself really makes a big difference into the fulfillment level that you feel. I have learned throughout my journey that material success, all the things that maybe I was chasing for the wrong reasons because I thought that's what was going to make me happy, definitely did not last. So in order for me to live a fulfilling life, I need to look at all of those factors that I mentioned and be able to actually be fulfilled and in contribution from the work that I was doing. So that's what I would say, to answer your question on, how do we align our success from the inside out?
Yeah. I mean, where you spoke there, I mean, there's a lot of things, there's a lot of harmony. Sometimes we have to, sacrifice certain things, to do certain things that we got to get. What would you recommend? Like if, you have either a business owner or an entrepreneur, a corporate leader that's, looking to take their business unit, their business to another level, what would be some of the things you could share that would allow them from the inside out to, to do certain things, again, to maintain that energy and all those things, they're going to help them to move forward?
Yeah, I would say that it starts with clarity. Sort of make a life plan is what I call it, a life strategy plan. And your business is just one area of your life, right? And sometimes I know that it takes a lot of energy and, people tend to focus on that, or entrepreneurs or business leaders, and make that their entire life at the cost of maybe their personal relationships, their health, right? All these other areas that we know are important to make us fulfilled as human beings. So I would say that, take inventory on what you are trying to build, and take your time to stop and take a look at the priorities or the things that you are actually working towards, and ensure that they align with the life that you want to live and create. Because I know it's very easy to, again, just go and just set the next fire as an entrepreneur or business leader. And sometimes maybe we just don't take that time to stop and reflect and make those decisions out of the bigger vision that we have for our life and business, and then sort of work backwards and really keep a very tight eye on those priorities. Even though you will get days, obviously, when we will get distracted, I always say lose purpose in the day-to-day, the micro action that we have to take, but go back to the macro a lot of times, ensure that those two are aligned so that you are working, towards the right priorities, and you're working smart and not hard. Yeah.
So important. I mean, I love that when you said working smarter than harder, because I know I had a tendency back early in my career. I could really, really work hard, but then I realized, God, I could still maximize the same amount of production and revenue by working smarter. And I had to learn the hard way. So,
Same here.
So glad that we have people like you that can share this. What are some other things, like when you talk about like the inside out with success, what would be some other areas that people can begin to do? Would that be, because when I think of inside out, it's like we got to, like, if for personally, I got to work on my emotional state. I got to work on my mental state, my physical state, all the things that are going to help me to prepare myself to manifest better financial opportunities for me personally, or better relationships if I'm looking for a relationship. And it's the same thing in business. How, what are the things that we're doing internally now to position ourselves to manifest better opportunities, to overcome challenges and turn them into better opportunities? What would be some things like you think would be best for those types of situations?
Absolutely. I think it's the spiritual intelligence. It's not very, widely spoken about. We hear about artificial intelligence. We hear about emotional intelligence, but spiritual intelligence is when you feed your soul, you feed your spirit, you have a practice. You have a practice where you can distract yourself from all the outside voices and noise, which is very excessive, and go tap into your inner wisdom. As human beings, we have an unlimited amount of potential, gifts, purpose, things that we haven't even discovered as we grow and evolve as human beings. And these practices do give you that access to even the most brilliant ideas that may be aligned with you and could be very, very successful monetarily as well. So having that consciousness, that you working on your level of consciousness, right, at all times, and being able to tap into your interior gifts, I would say that has been a game changer for not only building an authentic brand, which is so important today, and not being able to be compared or, be in competition with other people. So be able to align things that make sense to you. And I always say that we're always, we're all born with a purpose, right? With a calling, with a path, right? And I think that obviously we do take action and create the life that we want, but there's also a higher power, something else that is helping us. So the more we align ourselves with that, the more we will feel fulfilled, on purpose, on our mission, on our path. And of course, we will work smarter because we are now aligned. We're not, bumping heads and working on the wrong priorities. Things just flow. It becomes easier. So aligning those energies between your masculine and and feminine energies as well.
No, absolutely. I so align with what you're saying. I know for myself, again, I learned the hard way with that, but it's like trusting that process. Like I have to focus on what I can control, and I have to let go of what I can't. And when I can let go of what I can't, other people's situations, it allows the universe to do its part. And if I can focus on what I can control, and that's my communication to myself and others, my behavior, my attitude, it's happening for me, not to me, my emotions and how I respond versus react to situations and other people, and my action. As long as I'm responsible for doing that every day, I don't have to be responsible for that for other people or other situations, because if I do, it doesn't matter anyway, because I can't control it anyway. So I might as well trust the universe that the results I seek will be a byproduct of what I could. So I love what you just said there, and it's so true. And I've seen that happen. It's not something like, it sounds good. No, I've actually put it to the test, and it does work. Doesn't mean it's always easy, but it does work. No question about it. What would you like to share? Anything from your personal experience when you were in the corporate world as a CEO, or any of the things that you are doing right now, working as with helping businesses as a business catalyst, things that can really bring to light that the importance of looking at things from the inside out when it comes to success?
Yeah, I would say that getting that clarity is really important as an entrepreneur, business leader, as again, you are building something sustainable. I think it's really important in today's world with all the changes, technology, and things that are always happening around us, that we are adaptable. We really fall in love with the process of improvement as business leaders, because, the product or the service that you might have created maybe a year ago could just be something that, again, is not even needed anymore because things are just speeding up so fast. So being adaptable as a business leader and understanding how to align yourself with the right people and opportunities in your company, where you are structuring out and building those foundations, will only serve you in the long term, because again, you do have that structure built and you have that flexibility to be able to adapt and work on those highest, most important priorities. That's why I focus so much on those pillars that I mentioned at the beginning, or even in the bio, as far as branding, marketing, sales, systems, and team, because I do see such a big gap, not only in the entrepreneurial world, but also in the big organizations and corporations, between how to connect all those dots or all those main pillars in the business so that the business is sustainable and you're building a legacy, you're leaving something behind. But whatever you are doing in the world, whatever big problem you want to solve in the world, is having a positive impact towards humanity or towards someone else. I have learned, because I come from corporate where my focus was result. I was a corporate CEO, was result driven. I've learned to be more impact driven. And when you are impact driven, the results and the monetary gains or the profit that you make in the business, it becomes a byproduct of that bigger mission vision that you have to move forward in the world.
Yes.
And also align the greatest talent around that, because another big pain point for a lot of companies is finding the right people that they can retain over time.
Yeah, so agree with you what you said. It's so true and so important. I love what you shared there. And what do you think that, when you look at the landscape of business today, like, either small business, it could be, bigger companies as well. I mean, do you feel like people are starting to embrace more, like taking more responsibility for looking at themselves from the inside out individually and then together as a team and then as an organization? Are you seeing like signs that that's getting better, or do we still got a long way to go?
It's getting better. I think it's definitely at the beginning where corporations are understanding the importance of raising the consciousness of their leaders or their teams, and training and coaching on other areas of their personal lives besides their work, as far as ensuring that they have a very engaged force that obviously will create an impact towards their client base. So I believe obviously there's still a lot of opportunity as all this information is out and people embrace it. But I also feel that there's a lot of awareness that's being created and education around it. So I'm always an optimist, a pragmatist and an optimist. That's how I would define myself. So I think we're heading in the right direction. Business leaders at all levels are opening up, and they're, looking at their gaps and looking for opportunities to be able to not only be coachable, but also be able to provide their team with the right resources and training as they also move forward, because we're living in a different world, right? Whatever a team, someone on your team may be expected out of a company is no longer the case. So I feel like also companies have to evolve with where we're going, so that you stay competitive, or however you might want to call it, in the big marketplace of business.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Love it. What you shared there, and so true. And what are let's get a little bit about like what you're doing as a business catalyst in this particular area. If you could share with us some of the things that, how you're helping these CEOs and business owners and any high performers that, that really now understand that, that success, whatever that means to them, is, an inside out job, both personally and in the business.
Yeah. So something that I'm always passionate about is marrying the two between, all the education that's needed, but also the execution piece. And a lot of companies do lack that, how to take that vision that they have and execute it in the day-to-day, but also be able to structure out the company so that it's self-led eventually, right? So it's something that can be scalable for years to come. So that's the biggest gap, and that's the need that I feel specifically, because I am a visionary. I'm a big picture person, but I'm also very good at execution, ensuring that I take their vision, the CEOs, the founders' vision, and we implement it while cleaning up the home, so to speak, creating the very strong foundation of what they've already built, but also be able to tap into new markets and be able to adapt with their personal brand or their company brand on all the digital spaces that we are heading as we are moving forward, and tap into markets that they can also serve. So bringing in the new, cleaning up the old, but marrying the two so that it's a very healthy company working on all the right priorities. And again, it has a very healthy culture, because I think that's another big piece as we grow from solopreneurship into entrepreneurship into CEO level, right? The home, the environment has to be healthy. Otherwise, you can't build on toxic foundation. So all those different pieces sort of working together all at the same time. However, they're all working towards the same goal, vision, and mission.
Oh, that's great. Yes. Thank you for sharing that there. And, in our show here at Business Influencers, we're all about scaling businesses. We're all about making improvements, creating impact, like you said, and, sharing our values and so on. And part of, being an influencer is empowering people to, own their role and duties in whatever that experience they're looking to create, whether it's in business, something personal, maybe as the family, as as a team, whatever it may be. You mentioned impact before, and I really loved when you said that. So can you talk about the importance of business owners when from the inside out, that if we're going to create impact, it's got to come from the inside out if it's going to have impact?
Yeah. Well, it's the service, right? Impact to me is service and contribution. So if you go with that mindset, if you make decisions out of that mindset, if you lead with that, my latest book is called Purpose-Driven Entrepreneurship. And it's important for me, at least personally, to lead with your heart, right? To speak with your heart. So I think the more authentic you are, and the more you are leading with empathy and service, that will trickle down to everyone around you, right? Because you are the leader and you dictate the energy and the culture of your company. So to me, impact equals service. So however you really feel called to make a difference in the world through your service or your product, that's what impact means to me. Lead with that. When you are creating products, how is this going to transform the lives of the people that I want to serve? When you are creating sales structures, right? Anything in those departments, think of how can I help? And when we focus, our mind on the service aspect of that, we will always know what the right answer is and what the right next step is to make a decision around whether, again, we're going to market, we're marketing, creating our sales systems, bringing on teams or expanding our teams. So, shifting from profit, how do I make the most money, to how can I serve the most people? And I guarantee you the second will come. It's just a byproduct. It's connected.
Yeah, I always find that, when you can create more impact and create more influence and empower people, and they have a great experience, it's like when you're delivering service with impact, it helps to create that experience. I can't create the entire experience. No, I don't know, or anybody can create an experience just for everyone. They have to play a part in it. But those organizations that play a part in getting people to be a part of that experience through their service or end product, if there's a product involved, it just provides so much more impact. Like you said, it's just incredible.
Truly builds an iconic brand that lasts.
Yeah. All right. So with that being said, any final comments do you like to make about how to build success from the inside out for the audience? Because I want to make sure we have time also to let people know how to get in contact with you. But I'd love to see if you could either share sum up what you shared today in a really, in an impact way that really to provide value for the audience listening and those listening later.
Yeah, I would just recap sort of what we talked about already with the final message around, always be a life student. I always say is the leader of your company, right? Because there's always things that we can learn. There's always awareness levels that we can tap into. And the more influence that you get to have, even through your clients or your team, the more you also have to be aware as a leader. So raise your consciousness, be always focused on that. Surround yourself, obviously, with the right people, which is so important. But also be able to always learn and grow. That's why I love entrepreneurship, because one of my very important values early on is my personal growth and transformation. And that's what we talked about when we first initially started chatting this interview. So make your process of growth, your personal growth and transformation a priority, and your business will just follow along with that. I don't think there's any other way that we can do it. We think that we're going to build our businesses, but I think our businesses build us. So that's sort of what I've seen in my personal journey as well, and in all the people that I've helped.
Wow. Elona, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to be with us here, to share your words of wisdom, and most importantly, your experience in helping the audience and those listening later to move forward. How can the audience get to know you a little better? Reach out. How can they reach out to you, or anything that you'd like to provide them, whether if it's through your books or anything else that you'd like to share with them?
Yeah, I have a free masterclass masterclass on my website, elonaloparicoaching.com, where people can go get access to all those foundational pillars that I talked about, whether you are a startup or a company that's well beyond 6, 7, or even 8 figures. Because again, I'm a big foundation sort of person. So once the foundations are there and are strong, I've seen this repeat in all levels and phases and stages of business growth. So they could definitely go check out that masterclass on the website. And the next best place is LinkedIn. They can find me as Elona Lopari there.
Wow, great. Well, we highly encourage everybody here to reach out to her. She has a wealth of knowledge, again, both corporate experience, being in the CEO, as well as on the entrepreneur side. And again, someone that really truly has a lot of experience understanding how things are built from, to be successful from the inside out. I love that she's a foundational person as well, because that is so important. You can't have a beautiful home if it's on a faulty foundation, just like yourself and your business as well. Elona, thank you so much again for being here. We thank you so much for taking the time. And listeners, we want to thank you each and every week joining us here at Business Influencers. We want to wish everybody a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next week. Take care.